So last time we were seeing Satyavan and Savitri moving together in the forest. The young, eager husband showing to his beloved all the beautiful things amongst whom he was living. The trees, the birds, the rivers, the mountains, his childhood companions, how he grew and all that. This is a kind of recapture of what we have seen in the book of love. When Satyavan was making advances towards Savitri, he was describing the beauty and the wonder of the forest and how he had grown. He was describing it. Savitri came to the hermitage, started living there, but almost for 1 year, she never moved out of the hermitage. And she was not really aware of the richnesses of the forest. She had not seen those things at all. Now it is for the first time that they are moving together, and he is showing all the great things, the beautiful things, the wondrous things, the intimate things of the forest to his beloved. He showed her all the forest riches, flowers innumerable of every odor and hue, and soft, thick, clinging creepers, red and green, and strange, rich plumaged birds, to every cry that haunted sweetly distant above, replied with a shrill singer's name, most sweetly called. Bird calling its mate from one tree to the other tree, and how they were intimately connected with each other. He spoke of all the things he loved. They were his boyhood's comrades and his playfellows. It is in their company that he had grown up there, coevals and companions of his life. Now, you see, this is the kind of an identity he has with all the objects and the trees and the birds in the forest. Coevals, they are equal to him in every respect. In consciousness, there is such a deep identification of the truth that they have become a part of him. Here in this world, you see, this happens even in our ordinary life. See, you have got dogs, you have got pets, you have got birds, peacocks, and all that thing. You grow so intimate with them that they become a kind of your own family members. You see, in that way, you see. Coevals and companions of his life here in this world, whose every mood he knew. That is the identification Satyavan had, you see. Their thoughts, which the common mind are blank, he shared. Now this is what is Satyavan. He is not a common mind. Their thoughts which to the common mind are blank. The common mind does not understand the language, what they are speaking. So such is the deep identification with all the objects he had. He shared to every wild emotion felt an answer. And obviously Savitri is listening to all that he is narrating to her, quietly, deeply, intently. Deeply she listened, but to hear the voice that soul would cease from tender word and treasure his sweet cadences beloved, for lowly memory when none by her walked, and the beloved voice could speak no more. Soul he will be no more there, and she will be only remembering what he was speaking for long, you see. You can see, this is a different type of poetry. What we are seeing here in this canto is a different type of. It is not exactly epic. It is lyrical narrative. It is of the nature of a narrative. And that is quite understandable because what Shivantu had written, this was written by him in the Arya period, 1916 to 1918. At that time, the idea of Savitri as an epic was not there. And later on, it got totally changed, you see. The style, the contents, the epic greatness, magnificence, all that thing which is there, solidity which is there, that is not there in the narrative, you see, in a sense, you see. But at the same time, it is very intimate, very lyrical, very deep, you see. And you can see from here, he shared, you see, these lines. Their thoughts which to the common mind are blank, he shared. The lines are overflowing. In the epic, in the entire epic, there are end-stop lines. End-stop lines. To every wild emotion felt an answer. Again, it is overflowing. To every wild emotion felt an answer. What is called ansama? Enjoyment. The lines are overflowing. Deeply she listened, but to hear the voice. Again, the lines are overflowing, you see. Yeah. But little dwelled her mind upon their sense. What is talking about all that? Yes, she understands, appreciates and all that thing, but she is not going to pause on that. What weighs in her thought, in her heart, in her mind, in her will is death. All the way. But little dwelled her mind upon their sense of death, not life. She thought her life's lone end. That is her main concern now, main occupation. She is kind of possessed by that alone, you see. Love in her bosom hurt with jagged edges of anguish, moaned at every step with pain. So that is the whole thing. The love which is there, that itself has become a rough stone, and it is that rough stone which is causing pain to her in her heart. Of anguish moaned at every step with pain, crying. And when that pain is there, she utters a cry. What cry? Now perhaps his voice will cease forever. Even by some vague touch of breast. Sometimes her eyes looked round as if their orbs might see the dim and dreadful God's vast approach. So she is anticipating the arrival of the dim and dreadful God. Any moment now it will happen. He will come to snatch away the soul of Satyavan. Any moment it might happen with you. Dim and dreadful God. But Satyavan had passed. He was working so that he wanted to finish off his work quickly and give more time to his beloved. But as he was working hard, he felt tired, exhausted, drained out, and therefore he stopped. But Satyavan had paused. He meant to finish his labor here, that happy, learned, uncaring, they too might wander free in the green deep. Unconcerned, when I read about the job which he has to do, he wants to finish it off, be rid of it, get rid of it, and give maximum time to his beloved. It is for the first time they are in the wilderness together like that. Primeval mystery of the forest heart, wordless but near, she watched. She is not going to speak anything at all, but her eyes are intent upon him all the while, constantly watching him. She will not allow him to slip out of her sight. No turn to lose of the bright face and body which she loved, bright face and body. Now it is that which is soon going to be, it is that which is soon going to be grey and tarnished. Now it is bright face and body. Soon, in few minutes perhaps, it will become grey and tarnished. You see. Her life was now in seconds. Now, of course, it is not her life, obviously, it is his life. But her identification with his life is so much such oneness that his life is her life. In the strictest sense, her would stand essentially to something like a transferred adjective, pronoun, you see, transferred pronoun, you see. Her life was now in seconds, not in hours, and every moment she economized like a pale merchant leaned above his stall, the measure of his poor remaining gold. This is what we had seen last time. And I was working, but Satyavan wielded a joyous axe. Joyous, he doesn't know that shortly he will die. That there will be worry, there will be grief and all that. He doesn't know that he will get pain. But at this particular instant, he is joyous because his beloved is there in his company. And therefore, in that joy, he wants to finish off his work and be with her for a longer time all the while. Therefore, this joyous act, the act itself would become shortly an instrument of pain, but at this point, it is a joyous act. Soon it will become an instrument of pain, you see. He sang high snatches of a sage's chant, that peal of conquered death and demons slain, and sometimes paused to cry to her sweet speech of love and mockery, tenderer than love, conquered death and demons slain. Well, this is what the tradition would say. This is a kind of a
Premonition.
pardon?
Premonition?
A kind of a tradition, yeah. Yeah.
Premonition.
That period of conquered death and demons slain. Puranak. You see, the Purana, that is what they will sing. The glory of God.
Means he somewhere in his subconscious,
Yeah.
he conquers death.
Yeah.
He slays the demons. So actually, it's a
Yeah,
premonition.
but it could be he has no idea, but it is the samskara, the effect or the tradition which is there on him. The Puranas sing on the conquest of gods, of glory of God, and the removal of the obstacles and things like that. So he is chanting, sages chant. That is what the sages will do. That all the obstacles which are there, they should disappear. So even while they are working, that will be their concern all the while. There should not be any obstacles at all on the way. And he is, in that sense, chanting that kind of a song, you see. Yes, I am doing my work. Not that he is anticipating difficulty, any obstacle. He is happy, he is joyous, and the joy itself could be so intense, so powerful, that it might attract the evil force. You see, it is possible. It can attract the evil. And there, he is talking, even if it comes, it will be slain, it will be destroyed, it will be removed. The intensity of joy can be an occasion for the evil forces to invade. It happens, you see. They don't like you to be very happy, you see. And that pig to conquer death and demons slain, and sometimes paused to cry to her sweet speech of love and mockery tenderer than love. She, like a pantheress, leaped upon his words and carried them into her cavern heart. She wants to treasure them and hold them into her heart all the while. Cavern heart, Hridaya Guha. Guha, that is called cave. Hridaya means heart. Hridaya Guha. She wants to go and keep it there safely, his words. But as he walked, his doom upon him came. Now that's the beauty of it. The beauty is he is meeting death as he worked. Death in the action of life. Most of the time, what happens? The doom comes, death comes when you are lying in the bed, your terminal illness is there, whatever it is, the dingers on, you see. You don't work at all, you see. You have lost all your senses, consciousness, everything. But here he is active, fully active. He is active, working. It is as if that kind of a work which brought the doom to him. It is too great a thing for it to be allowed, his work. And that must be terminated, and therefore the doom comes. His work is so great that the doom cannot allow it to continue. Upon him came. And then he is describing the violent and hungry hounds of pain. Hounds of pain. They are lusting for the flesh and blood of man. Hounds. Hounds of death. They are lusting for that, waiting for that to happen. Hungry, violent, of course. Hounds of pain. In other words, they are waiting to suck away all his vital energies. That is what they are doing. The vital force which is there in him, it is that they would like to take away from him. The violent and hungry hounds of pain travel through his body, biting as they passed silently. That is what they are doing, biting. And all his suffering breath besieged, strive to run, lie strong, hard course, and be free. So what is actually happening here is, it is the vitals which are being attacked by the hounds of death. They are lusting on it, and it is because of that there is a kind of a suffocation, if you like to say. Suffering breath besieged. Strive to rend. Now it is that which is rending life's strong hard cords. So actually what is happening here is, it is an attack on his heart. And it is that which is becoming the physical cause of death. Heart, not mind, not brain. Heart. Heart, strong heart cause. It is not brain, it is not nervous, but it is cardiac. So it's kind of a cardiac attack. The physical.
Cardiac attack is different than heart attack.
It is not stopping of brain.
Yes, but a cardiac attack, cardiac arrest.
Now he is so excited, so emotional, so exhausted with work and all that thing, and the mood is so intense that it is kind of causing his heart to become extra active to withstand the intensity of all that. It is, you see that.
Because everybody has a cardiac
No,
arrest.
yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, the cause would lie strong heart. Ran lives strong heart cause. Actually, we shall see that thing again. Then helped as if a beast had left its prey. A moment in a way of rich relief. So he is caught by the beast, but the beast has left it there, that prey, and walked away. So to some extent, there is a kind of relief to the prey. Then helped as if a beast had left its prey, a moment in a way of rich relief, rebound to strength, and happy is he stood, rejoicing and resumed his confident toil. He's again getting up, doing his work, but with less seeing strokes. He's chopping the wood with less seeing stroke. Now the great woodsman hewed at him, and his labor ceased. Now the poetic technique which the author is present here is he is having the axe in his hand and he is cutting the tree, but it is not that some great woodsman. It is he who is wielding the axe and chopping off Satyavan, you see, as a tree branch, you see. Now the great woodsman hewed at him and his labor, he is of course Satyavans, not woodsman, you see, Satyavans, you see. See, lifting his arm, he flung away the poisoned axe far from him like an instrument of pain. So what was a joyous axe, as I said earlier, has now become an instrument of pain. Satyavan will get a joyous axe in the beginning, but now that itself has now become an instrument of pain. Now, there are a couple of things here. Woodsman. In the revised edition, W is small. Woodsman's. It is small, lowercase. Now the great woodsman hewed at him, and his labor ceased. So that is the metaphorical way of saying the approaching death of Satyavan. Now this should not be interpreted that it is a kind of an accidental hit of the axe by which Satyavan died. He is not hit by his own axe and then he collapsed. It is not that at all. So what we are saying is basically, the general causes of such a death are either by hitting yourself with an axe like that, but that is ruled out here. Although the image is of axe in a metaphorical sense, the other cause could be a snake bite in the forest, thick forest and all that thing, accidentally the snake comes bite and is poisoned and collapses. That is also not there. Nowhere it is indicated like that. In the other story, other narrative by Shivanu, Priyamvada, it is the snake bite which is the cause of death. Here it is not that at all. And even in the case of the snake bite, you see, by axe, the death can be more or less instantaneous. More or less instantaneous. By snake bite, it is never instantaneous. Even if the most poisonous result snake bites you, it takes you at least 2 hours to die. For the poison to work out and all that thing, you are still living. But this is happening within minutes, moments. So it is certainly not the snake bite, you see. It is not the axe. So the only cause is overexertion, summer heat, anxiety, the emotional stress in which Satyavan is doing things, and it is that which is rending life's strong hard cords. So the physical cause would be here in this one. She came to him in silent anguish and clasped and he cried to her, Savitri, a pang cleaves through my head and breast. So he is feeling intense pain in his breast, in his head also. In the Mahabharata story, Vyasa story, Savitri, he says that as if the arrows are piercing through my head. He speaks of the arrows piercing through it. But here, head and breast, both. A pang cleaves through my head and breast, as if the axe were piercing it and not the living branch. So he is wielding the axe, trying to chop off the wood branch, but it is not the tree which is feeling the pain, it is I who am feeling the pain, you see. As if the axe were piercing it and not the living branch. Now, this is a little puzzling thing. He says, cleaves through my head and breast, which is quite understandable, both, yeah. Because he is emotionally charged, heart is tired also, so to say, and all that, you see. There is intense heat. Were piercing it. It is not them, it is it. It is it. Were piercing it. What is that it? Breast, heart, yeah. It is that which is, and that is what we have earlier also know. Life's hard course. There is a kind of a consistency in the whole description. See. That it is very wonderful, I will say. No? Yeah. And not the living branch. Well, that is understood. See. Yeah. Such agony rends me, as a tree must feel. Yes, I am feeling such pain. Now again, we can see very clearly, rents me as a tree must feel. It is a question of feeling. Heart, again. The tree is feeling. I feel. Where do I feel? Heart. Such agony rents me as a tree must feel when it is sundered and must lose its life. He is seeing the death. lose its life. Now, of course, my friend is not very happy that Satyavan should go to the forest and cut living trees. See, it is anti-environmentalist approach. You go and cut living trees? No, it's not palatable at all to the present mind. That green trees you go and chop off like that for wood or fire or whatever it is you see. But it's a living tree which is cutting, not dead branches. Because the tree is feeling the pain, not a dead branch. The tree is feeling pain. So Narad is not happy about this one. And then he says, no, it cannot be a living branch, it must be a dead branch. Dead branch of a tree, you see. Yeah. So there is a little dilemma. I mean, was he really cutting the tree like that? While let me lay my head upon thy lap and guard me with the hands from evil fate. He is anticipating already that evil. Perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. He is anticipating the healing touch of Savitri. He is kind of sensing very strongly that if there has to be protection for him, that protection will come only from her. If he is going to meet an evil moment, it is she alone who can guard him against that. See? And guard me with thy hands from evil fate. Perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. Well, that is the power of the touch of Savitri. That is the power of the touch of Savitri. If she touches you, then death cannot touch you. Death cannot touch you. See, if Savitri touches you, death cannot touch you. So I think we have to live constantly in the presence of Savitri and let her physically protect us from all evil, from fate, even from death. See. Then Savitri sat under branches wide, cool, green, against the sun. Not the hurt tree, which his keen axe had cloven. That she shunned. She avoided that tree. The tree branch which you are chopping, that big tree, that she shunned, obviously. And she is sitting under another tree. Another tree of what kind? A fortunate kingly trunk. Fortunate kingly. The she shunned, but leaned beneath the fortunate kingly trunk. She guarded him in her bosom and strove to soothe his anguished brow and body with her hands. Cool. He is perspiring profusely. There is pain, there is perspiration. Therefore, under a shady tree, thick shady tree. Now, this fortunate kingly trunk. Well, fortunate. We shall say, of course, that the kingly trunk. Huge big tree. That's what it means. The tradition is it is the banyan tree. Water Savitri, we call it water. Huge big banyan tree. And it's a tree which cannot be easily cut also, you see. So it is under the banyan tree she is taking him. And he is resting in her lap under that banyan tree. Kingly trunk, huge, big, majestic trunk. Fortunate. So, fortunate is a sign of the banyan tree. Whenever there is the banyan tree, it means that it is fortunate. See the way in which it multiplies, it throws its own branches and grows, you see, like that. The way it grows, you see. And of course, the fig or the banyan tree is very small, and it is from that tree a majestic tree comes out. See. It is a tree which is celebrated in the scriptures, Ashwatha tree. Ashwatha tree. What a banyan tree. Ashwatha. And the Gita speaks of it as a tree whose roots are up in the sky, heaven, and these branches are here on the lower plane, earth. Urdhva Mula, its roots are up there, and its branches spread down below you. The roots are in heaven, in the transcendental, and from there the tree spreads out here. That is the kingly tree. It is the tree whose roots, whose origin is up there in the transcendent, and therefore it is always a fortunate tree. It is always a fortunate tree. Now there is a little anecdote about the fig of this big tree, small little fig, you see, and like fig, small seeds are there, hundreds of them, and it is from that. So on one occasion, Narad wanted to find out who is the true bhakta on the earth. Vishnu had told him, go to the earth and find out who is the true bhakta, devotee of me. And then he went around here, there, everywhere, and he saw one cobbler working with his job, busy with his job, under a banyan tree on the outskirts of the village. And then he asked, Narad, yes, you are coming from the house of Vishnu, from heaven, from Vaikuntha. You know everything what is happening there. So can you please tell me what is Vishnu busy with at the moment in heaven? What is busy with? Then Narad was telling him, look, Vishnu is very busy to push an elephant to the eye of a needle. He is busy with that, you see. And then this cobbler, he says, yes, wonderful. Yes, surely. It is only Vishnu who can do that, who can push the elephant to the eye of a needle. And then Narad was surprised, how do you say that? I cannot imagine such a thing happening, you see. Then he told Narad, look, you go and pick up one of the figs from the tree there. Open it out. What is it there? He says, Narad says, I see thousands of trees, thousands of seeds in that little fig. Now, if Vishnu can push in a small little seed a huge tree like this, banyan tree, then it's no wonder that he can push the elephant to the eye of the needle. He can do that kind of a thing. And then Narad recognized at that time, yes, he is a true bhakta, true devotee. Narad was asking Vishnu, please show me some true bhakta in the world, where it is. And Vishnu had pointed out, go and meet at cobbler, you see, and see that thing, you see. He saw the true bhakta there, see. Yes, Vishnu can push the elephant to the needle, to the eye of the needle, you see. So that is the kingly tree, that is the fig tree, the tree of creation. That is how it is symbolized. So it is under this tree of creation that Savitri is taking Satyavan there. It is under that tree of creation that he is going to get new life. It is under that tree that new life will dawn and flourish here. That fig tree which is there, that little seed which is there, in this tremendous hour, transplant seed. That is what we got in the boon. You see? Yeah. A seed shall be sown in this tremendous hour. A seed shall be sown in this tremendous hour. That is what we got here. Lean beneath a fortunate, therefore, it is a fortunate tree. Rich tree, you see, fortunate. It is the tree of creation, Ashwatha. Its roots are up there, indestructible. It spreads its branches all around, you see. But lean beneath a fortunate kingly trunk, naturally, it is that kind of a thing which would give assurance to Satyavan that perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. It is that thing which gives him that assurance that death may pass. It is that fortunate kingly trunk. See, very powerful. See, in just 3 words, the entire history is kind of packed. Packed in the sense that in that fig tree, the seed of that tree, little seed, the whole tree is packed. In the same manner, fortunate kingly trunk, in that phrase is packed the whole essence of Savitri. The entire essence of epic poem Savitri is kind of packed, you see. Fortunate kingly trunk. She guarded him in her bosom and strove to soothe his anguished brow and body with her hands. All grief and fear were dead within her now. Now this is the miraculous thing. See, it is a moment of intense grief and fear, but they have stopped to be there. Savitri has transcended them. She has gone beyond that. Such intensity of purpose is there in her that nothing counts to her. The intensity of purpose. Grief and fear are dead. And a great calm had fallen. It is that intensity of purpose. It is that which gives her the great calm. The wish to lessen his suffering. He is suffering, she sees that. Even that wish also stops. That little human element which is there in Savitri, that also ceases to exist. The wish to lessen his suffering, the impulse that opposes pain, were the one mortal feeling left. They were there existing, but then even that passed. Even that vanished. Such is the intensity of the purpose. Even that passed. Grief and strong, she waited like the gods. Grief and strong, she waited like the gods. Now here, she waited like the gods. That is all you have to see. For the opportune moment to come, for the things to happen, she is waiting like the gods. But she is not, she is waiting for the God. But the gods are not griefless and strong. You have never seen grief. Strong, she waited like God. But now, his sweet, familiar hue was changed into a tarnished greenness. This is what I was telling you, tarnished greenness. Earlier it was that joyous acts, no? What is that? Bright face and body. When he was singing that joyous song, he was bright, youth, lustrous. But within minutes, it has become now tarnished. But now his sweet, familiar hue was changed into a tarnished greyness, and his eyes dimmed over, forsaken of the clear sight she loved. Now, it must have taken quite some time for his bright face to become tarnished grey. See, he is feeling joy, he is feeling pain and all that. Suddenly, his face has become now marred, tarnished, sullied. It must have taken at least half an hour or so. It does not happen suddenly. So between that moment of his feeling the pain and collapsing in the lap of Savitri, it must have been about half an hour or so, you see. In other words, if I had to say that this is the moment, if the death is going to occur at 12 noon, is what we have been seeing all along, then this must be around 11:30 or so. And earlier, the work which he was doing, that must have been up to 11 o'clock. Up to 11 o'clock. So he is working there after 11 o'clock in the morning. Suddenly he feels the pain, and then he goes near Savitri. So it takes about half an hour for his face to become tarnished grey. And then still he is not dead. So this must be around 11:30 or so. Then only the dull and physical mind was left, vacant to the bright spirit's luminous gaze. So his eyes have become dull. They lost this sight. And then he says, but once before it faded wholly back, he cried out in a clinging last despair, Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down, my soul, and kiss me while I die. That is the last utterance of Satyavan. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down, my soul, and kiss me while I die. What a poignant utterance. How emotionally charged and full of power at the same time. He cried out in a clinging last despair. So this is the moment which is arriving around 12 o'clock. Here, let us first dismiss this thing and kiss me while I die. There is a temptation of considering that Savitri had revived Satyavan not by occult power and force, but by mouth to mouth breathing. What she was doing is, she is giving him breath from her mouth. Kiss me while I die. She is pressing her lips on his, she is breathing her breath into his breath. And therefore, because that mouth to mouth breathing, he survived. So there is nothing occult in the death. He got exhausted, he got tired, he feels gone, drained out and all that thing. He lost his breath practically. And luckily, there is somebody nearby who goes and helps him out. And it is the mouth to mouth breathing which brings him back to life. In fact, there is no question of bringing back to life. He never died. You see. That is what it would mean, you see. You agree with that? Lean down my soul and kiss me while I die. Huh? You won't agree? Of course not. Yeah, yeah. But that is what the materialist, the non-spiritual, non-occult person would say. After all, there was really no death. You have made a fuss of the whole thing. It was a matter of simple survival by mouth-to-mouth breathing. See, it knocks away the entire basis of Savitri. If you give that importance to it, you see, the whole epic which is there kind of collapses if you consider that way. You see, Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, lean down my soul and kiss me while I die. Now, that is the magic of his utterance. He knows that he will die. But he also feels that whatever protection is there for him, it is in Savitri. She is his soul. She is his soul. And it is that soul, that she, who is going to give him full life, deathless life. So, and the magic, the power is such that if you utter this name 3 times, Savitri, 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 you are saved from all the consequences of death. At the time of death, we do remember these 3 names and utter these 3 names. Savitri, Savitri, Savitri. You are absolutely safe. She takes care of everything. She takes care of everything. You have to utter it 3 times because all the 3 realms of ignorance in which we live, it is she who will fill up with life. The physical, the vital, the mental. Everywhere it is her power and her greatness which will get established. 3 times all the 3 regions of our existence will get illuminated by her power and presence and by her light. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. Now, of course, he says, lean down. Well, in the immediate context, it is very easy to understand. Satyavan is lying in the lap of Savitri, and therefore he is asking her to lean down and kiss her, kiss him. She must lean down and kiss him. But in the larger context, it is the great Savitri of the higher realms. It is she who has to lean down, who has to come down and save me from the mortal lot, from my death. It is she who has to come down and save me from here. And therefore, 3 times, the cry is 3 times. Lean down from above, from the transcendental realm. And that is my real soul up there. And kiss me while I die. So you have here at once the interweaving of the occult and the physical going together. As a story, it is happening in the forest under the tree, all those things are happening there. And on the occult level, it is elsewhere also, simultaneously happening. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. Now, see, that's the beauty of the poetry also. It is not Savitri, 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 lean down. He is not simply saying Savitri, 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 lean down. Oh Savitri. That is a full charm, full power in that. The remote, distant kind of Savitri to whom he is calling down. He is calling her down, he lean down, oh Savitri. My soul. Now this line, see, this O is giving a different thrust to just repeating 3 times, Savitri, Savitri, Savitri. But at the same time, from the metrical point of view, that O is necessary. O is necessary from a metrical point of view, as a line of poetry. See, Savitri is a 3-syllable word. So 3 plus 3 plus 3, it will become 9. What we want is a decasyllabic line. 10 syllables, pentameter. And that is filled up by O. That is filled up by O. The expansion of this line will be Sa-vi, 3. Sa-vi, that is first foot. Sa-vi, that is talking, long, short. Then 3 Sa, that is I am, short, long. Sa-vi, 3 Sa, then again with 3. It is a period, short. So you have got I am, you have got a trochee, then I am, then a period, and then Osa, that is spondy. long, long. And third one, Itve, again big. So metrically, that is the line, that is the way you scan the line, see, metrically. So, see, a simple line like that, how majestic it becomes poetically. And it is that kind of a thing which constitutes the mantra of Savitri. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. It kind of reverberates constantly. It works within and without constantly. Just utter it aloud constantly. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. It rings in you all the while, everywhere. See. That is the mantra. And mantra, therefore, it has also that power in it. The occult force is there, occult power is there. And therefore, Satyavan has already realized that if he can utter that mantra, then he is safe. She will take care of him in every respect. Whatever has to happen, she will do for him. Now, this line, Savitri, you see, it is the repetition of the same word, Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. There are two very beautiful instances of this kind of construction in poetry, Shakespeare's. There is a line from Macbeth. Macbeth, his last colloquy, utterance is, tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. He utters 3 times, see. Again, a perfectly poetic line. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow. See. And then things happen. Brief candle, studying and spending the hour. And then what are we? We are lighted fools to dusty death will be reduced in the case of Macbeth. Lighted fools to dusty death. So that tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow for which he is waiting and which is not arriving will lead him to dusty death. And in contrast to that, here we have got something different altogether. That death may pass, that if you kiss me, he says no, that death may pass. Perhaps because thou touchest, death may pass. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. There is another line of the same kind, so to say, in Shakespeare's King Lear. He repeats one word 5 times to make it pentasyllabic. Never, 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 never. And then things happen. And then he says, why should a dog, a horse, a rat have life and not you? The dead person who is there, a dog has a life, rat has a life, horse has a life, and you don't have a life. How can it be? Never, 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 never. So that's the power of poetry. But here, of course, you can see the intensity, the poetic technique in Shakespeare is very powerful. But here you can see the kind of occult force which is there intensely present in these few words. Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. The vibrations are different. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. See, is a different thing. Never, 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 never. And then Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri. You can see the difference between the three. Then, even as her pallid lips pressed his, He asks her to kiss him, and she is leaning down to fulfill his last wish. Even as her pallid lips pressed his, Savitri's lips are not pallid. Her pallid lips, they are not her lips. It is again a kind of a transferred epithet to Satyavan. Even as her pallid lips pressed his, he sped, losing last sweetness of response. She is responding, but he is not able to receive that. His cheek pressed down her golden arm. You can see now here. He says here as her pallid lips, but hers are golden arm. Golden arm. So that pallid is not Savitri's pallid lips. It is a transferred epithet for Satyavan's pallid lips. She sought his mouth still with a living mouth. So this is not again mouth to mouth breathing. As if she could persuade his soul back with her kiss. See, then grew aware they were no more alone. Somebody was standing there between them, in front of them. Then grew aware. Who? Who grew aware? She could persuade his soul back with her kiss. Then grew aware, obviously Savitri, not Satyavan. Savitri grew aware that she and her husband were not alone. There is somebody else now present there. Something had come there. Satyavan does not know that. Savitri has recognized somebody has come there. So this is about 12 o'clock now. Then grew aware they were no more alone. Something had come there, conscious, vast and dire. So that is the appearance of death, Yama. Vast and dire is the cosmic power. So it has the vastness, and it is aimed at dire, frightening, fearful, conscious. He is coming with a conscious intention for a purpose. He is coming for a purpose, conscious. Vast, as wide as the universe, the mortal world, and dire. Near her she felt a silent shade, immense. So that is now what we are going to see here. He is a shade immense, terrifying darkness. And what does the shade do? It has a power to chill the noon. It has a power to chill the noon with darkness for its back. An awful hush had fallen upon the place. The whole forest area under that kingly tree trunk, there is an awful hush had fallen upon the place. There was no cry of birds, no voice of bees. So that is the effect of the presence of death there. That is why it is chilling the noon. It has such a power, such an effect that even the birds, the animals, everybody, everything has fallen silent, mute. His very presence there. An awful hush. A terror and anguish filled the world. That is what it means. It is not only Satyavan who is going to experience it, the whole world is feeling the oppression of his presence there. Who is he? He is annihilation's mystery. He is annihilation's mystery. Everything must be destroyed, must be annihilated. What is the mystery in that annihilation? It is by annihilation that perhaps a new creation, new possibility can open out. It is not by repeating the same thing again and again in a mortal manner that the new things can happen. It is by annihilating all that there is a possibility of a new creation coming up. And that is the role His presence is performing. That's a mystery, a relation mystery. He had taken a sensible form, purposeful form. In fact, that is the moment of annihilation's mystery. It is that which is arriving shortly there. Satyavan's death is the opening out of a mystery which is locked in annihilation. The mystery which is locked in annihilation, it is that which gets opened out in the death of Satyavan. A cosmic mind, that is what he is, cosmic mind, looked out on all from formidable eyes, so his eyes are formidable. Contemplating all with his unbearable gaze. You can't look into his eyes, into his gaze. But that is what Savitri can do. She does it. She does it. Unbearable gaze. And with immortal lips and a vast brow, it saw it is a man destroying thought, all things and beings as a pitiful dream. So what is this world? Pitiful dream. Rejecting with calm disdain nature's delight, the wordless meaning of his deep regard, voicing the unreality of things. That is what it is telling. Look, this world is under my sway, therefore it is unreal. And life that could be forever but never was, and is brief and vain recurrence without cease, as if from a silence without form or name, the shadow of a remote uncaring God, doomed to his not illusory universe, cancelling its show of idea and act in time, and its imitation of eternity. It's a long description, turning into several lines, you see. 18 lines, you see. So what do we have here? Essentially, his presence is a terror and anguish. That is what it is, terror and anguish, which fill the whole world. And it is that whole world, you see, the whole mortal world, basically. And it is the annihilation. So first thing what we see here is about him as the annihilation's mystery, as we have seen already. And then he has got, his is a cosmic mind. That is the first thing which you see here. Then he has formidable eyes. Then his gaze is unbearable gaze. And his thought, immense, destroying thought. This whole idea. All things and beings as a pitiful dream. It is he who makes everything, all things and beings, whatever is there in this world, they become a pitiful dream. It is he who rejects and disdains nature's delight. It is he who makes wordless meaning of his deep regard, voicing the unreality of things. Asatya, that is what it means. There is no satya at all in this world at all, no reality at all in the things, because they are subject to death. They cannot express the possibilities of the spirit. They are subject to death. They cannot express the possibilities of the spirit. And therefore they are unreal. Therefore they are unreal. If they cannot express the possibilities of the spirit, then they become unreal. In fact, that could be the definition of what is unreality. Now, what is life? A brief and vain recurrence. Keeps on repeating. And who is he that? He is a silence without form or name. He has no shape, no figure, no form, no name. What one would call form. He has no rupa. Rupa means form. Name, nama. Nama and rupa he doesn't have. But the clinching phrase is, he is a shadow of a remote, uncaring God. Shadow of a remote, uncaring God. Who is this remote, uncaring God? The reality of death, the origin of death, the presence of death is because of something who does not care about God, in a way. Uncaring God, the inconscience, the void which will kind of swallow it. In other words, death is none but a shadow of the inconscience, of the void. It is shadow of the inconscience. He has no reality of his own. If you remove inconscience, if you knock off the void, then death would not exist anymore. In fact, that is what we shall see later on when Savitri is face to face with death and arguing with him and conquering death. That is what will happen. The shadow of a remote, uncaring God, doomed to his not illusory universe. He is doomed not to nothing, to void. And what do you do? Cancelling his show of idea and act in time. You will not allow things to move you. An imitation of eternity. Imitation of eternity. It is there permanently, the way the eternity is there, but in the lower manifestation, in the void, in the inconscience, in this world, at the base of things here, the last nothingness. Let us read this one, 147.34. 147.34. Onward, we'll read from that. About the picture of death which see when Savitri is conquering him. His body was eaten by light, his spirit devoured by light, by Savitri's light. At last he knew defeat inevitable and left crumbling the shape that he had worn. See, that is the point. The shape he had worn, the shadow, that is the shadow. Crumbling the shape that he had worn. For what purpose? Abandoning hope to make man's soul his prey, and forced to be immortal, the immortal spirit. He wants the immortal spirit mortal. And then afar he fled, shunning her dreaded touch. See, that touch me, that by your white touch, death may pass away. You see, it is what Satyavananda says. Afar he fled, shunning her dreaded tongue, and refuge took in the retreating night. The night itself is withdrawing in the presence of Savitri in that divine form there. In the dream twilight of that symbol world, the dire universal shadow, this is what we have seen here, dire, no? Dire, we have already seen here. The dire universal shadow disappeared, vanishing into the void from which it came. He presented himself. In fact, he has no birth of his own. He is coming from the void. As if deprived of its original cause, the twilight realm passed feeding from their souls, and Satyavan and Savitri were alone. So that void is the imitation of eternity. You see, this is what it says again. The shadow of a remote, uncaring God. It gets linked up with that. Cancelling its show of idea and act in time. And then she knew that visible death was standing there, and Satyavan had passed from her embrace. So her mouth to mouth breathing has failed.
Doesn't do it.
Doesn't do anything at all, you see. Cannot do it. It has to happen. Death must take place. See. Yeah, it's good he dies. He is meant to die. He has to die. But see, the real meaning of death lies in this, in the lap of Savitri. In the lap of, that is the real meaning of death. In the lap of Savitri. And if you can remember and recollect and utter this phrase, this word, at the moment of death, Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri, you are absolutely safe. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, that doesn't make it pentametric. It is not making. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. You have to say 5 times. Mother, 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 mother. Then it becomes pentametric. Mother too. So 5 times. So perhaps yeah, we can call it Savitri, Savitri, oh Savitri.